Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. Report reaching us right now is that there've been, a cleansing of the pathway in preparation of Ofarende that is coming up on the 29th of this month, that is November 2025. Now, Ofarende, as we know, is that ritual that will get the great lion and the jewel to begin to be seen in public together again. And hopefully, we are praying with everything that we have got that everything goes smoothly and successfully. Della, right, I want to say happy new month to all of you. I wish you the very best month in November. I wish that all your dreams will come true. And, none of us shall go missing in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you all for being here. Happy new month to you. It's a good thing that we are all here together, okay, to continue this journey. They said, cleansing of the pathway in preparation for Ofarende. They said it happened over the weekend. The jewel's father, led the great lion's elders in a sacred midnight procession. Now, there's a reason why they continue to tell you that it is not a day's job to be married to the only living deity, okay? Yes, the only living deity of the Yoruba race is the great lion. He is the only living deity. And things do not just happen, okay? And that was why you saw that it was so difficult for them to reunite, the great lion and the jewel. Because of the way the jewel left the palace is a whole lot. The full moon ritual has been done. And right now, in preparation for the Ofarende ritual, they say every week, or is it every 3 days? I don't know, they use Yoruba word to call it, okay? That they will be doing different rituals, okay? To prepare the way for Ofarende. But these rituals are not as rigorous as, the full moon ritual, okay? But these are things that they need to do because, of course, we do understand that it's a traditional community. So they have already started. The one that the jewel's father was involved in happens to be the one they call cleansing of the pathway. And they said the jewel's father was there to lead the procession, okay? They said that night in the ancient courtyard of Ife, the air was heavy with meaning, not mystery. Every face there carried the same understanding. Something deep was shifting, something that had to be done to open the road before, the great lion and his queen's reconciliation will be final, okay? And the final reconciliation is happening on the 29th. That's the Ofarende. You do know that, if you notice, okay, I do know that there are blogs who are reporting that, the great lion did this, the great lion was seen in public, the great lion was celebrating in public with the jewel. Yes, I do know, but I don't know if that is true because I don't know where they get their own. I will never doubt them. But you and I know that it's been hard, like, to see them together. The only time they have come together was during the Akure stuff sometime last year. Yes, was it last year or early this year? Yes, late last year, and that caused a whole lot of problems. So after the Ofarende ritual, hopefully they will begin to be seen publicly again. They said the jewel's father stood quietly in the middle of the courtyard, his hands behind his back, his eyes looking straight at, the sky that Saturday. They say calmly over the palace roof. He was no ordinary man. He had to stand in for the daughter. Yes, the daughter has been long gone, over 3 years now. The woman, that is the jewel, has been out of the palace. And, everything has not been as it was supposed to be. But by the grace of God, the great lion has been able to hold forth for when the jewel was weak, so they can come back together. And that time is fast approaching. They said around him stood, 4 elders of the great lion, men whose words are heavy in Ife, men whose gray hair symbolize wisdom, and whose voices carried both blessing and judgment. They were dressed in plain white wrappers tied across their shoulders, carrying small goats and cowries, okay? symbols of ancestral communication behind them, where the women from the jewel's maternal side, including, the jewel's mother, holding clay pot filled with palm oil and water fetched from the sacred Orita stream earlier that evening. At exactly midnight, the jewel's father raised his hands and the courtyard went silent. From a far end, two young priests brought out the calabash of Omi Aru, the dark blue consecration water. The elders dipped their fingers into it one after the other, rubbing it on their heads and chests while muttering quiet incantation. The jewel's father then spoke, not like a man giving orders, but like one surrendering everything to destiny. So basically, this happens to be some of those rituals that they are supposed to do before the jewel can, return back, before the final reconciliation of the great lion and the jewel. That is the Ofarende, that ritual that will get them to start going out together. They said this one that happened over the weekend is a ritual that a lot of, as you know, people have never seen. Like for a very long time, they have never seen in the palace. Okay, because you know that this thing happened between the jewel and the great lion. Some people just saw it for the first time. They said the elders form a straight line facing east, the direction of renewal. The jewel's father walked ahead of them, holding a burning torch made from palm frond dipped in shea oil. Each step he took, he called the names of ancestors from both the great lion lineage and that of the jewel's lineage. May the path open, may bitterness dissolve, may our daughter return in peace, he shouted, and the elders responded in one voice as say, The echo rolled across the compound, reaching even the outer gate where palace guards stood quietly watching. Now, they said from there, they moved to the three sacred spot, the front gate of the great lion's courtyard, the pathway to the ancestral grove, and finally the center of the royal roundhouse where the jewel once sat as queen. At each point, the jewel's father poured libation, sprinkled water, and dropped kola nut into the fire, declaring that every obstruction between the great lion and the jewel must be broken before the Ofarende day. When they reached the roundhouse, the jewel's mother knelt down and placed her hands on the ground, praying that her daughter's name would be honored again where it once echoed in royalty. Whatever that has been done, whatever that has been said, whatever that has made everyone so upset over what has been going on, should melt. Anger should melt. Animosity should melt from both families, their own family and the family of the great lion. Anybody that holds any grudge against the jewel, it should melt from their own family. If they hold any grudge against the great lion's family, it should melt. No grudge shall come near them again. They will return to each other and they will live happily thereafter. The elders sang an old song, one used only when families are being spiritually reunited. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was deep, filled with emotion. Even those who didn't understand the full meaning could feel its weight. One of the older chief, Baba Ato, whispered that this kind of cleansing hadn't been performed in decades, not since the days of, Oni Ade Sojo. But tonight it was being done again for peace, for cleansing, and for the restoration of a home that had lost its rhythm. Yes, so they said everybody celebrated before they departed. Right, this is what we are hearing. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and shouldn't be seen as fact.